Welcome back to the deep dive. Everyone has that mental filing cabinet for tech stocks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
You've got your serious enterprise software companies in the top drawer.
The boring but important stuff.
Exactly. Your semiconductor giants in the middle, and then way, way in the back, behind like a crumpled receipt, is video games for kids,
And that's exactly where Roblox has lived for, what, the last decade?
for sure. It's the place where your nephew spends his allowance on, I don't know, virtual hats.
Yeah.
But looking at the stack of papers we have here today, the Q4 2025 earnings report, the shareholder letter, that transcript from the call with CEO David Baszucki, I think we have to officially burn that filing cabinet.
Consider it torched. I mean, we are not just looking at a game company having a good quarter. We're looking at a platform that just posted numbers that, honestly, they shouldn't be possible for a business this mature.
The market certainly thought so. I was glued to the ticker on February 5th.
Oh, me too.
The earnings dropped, and Roblox stock ticker, RBLX,
Yeah.
it didn't just go up, it went vertical,
Yeah, it was a rocket ship.
up over 13% in extended trading, hitting nearly $69 a share.
And they did beat expectations, but the reaction wasn't just about the math. It was about the narrative. For years, management's been telling Wall Street, look, we aren't a video game, we're a human co-experience utility.
And for years, Wall Street has just rolled its eyes.
Exactly. But this quarter, the numbers finally forced everyone to stop rolling their eyes and start taking notes.
Well, let's start with the sheer scale of this thing, because I think that's where the whole kids game argument just completely falls apart.
It absolutely does. So in the fourth quarter of 2025, Roblox hit 144 million daily active users.
144 million every single day.
Every day. To put that in perspective, that is roughly the population of Russia logging in daily.
Wow,
And here's the stat that made my jaw drop. That is a 69% increase year over year.
it's wild. Usually when a platform gets this big, I mean, think about Facebook or Instagram, growth slows down to like 5 or 10%.
Right, they hit saturation.
But growing at nearly 70% at this scale,
Yeah.
that's unheard of.
It's anomalous. It suggests they haven't even hit the ceiling yet. So our mission today is to sift through all this data and figure out how.
Right, how?
How does a platform famous for these, blocky, Lego-looking avatars evolve into a cash-printing, AI-powered juggernaut that's suddenly captivating adults?
And we have to talk about the content.
Mm.
'Cause I never thought I'd be sitting here seriously analyzing a billion-dollar business strategy that's based on a game called Steal a Brain Rot,
We are going to be saying steal a brain rot a lot today.
with very serious faces.
A very serious faces.
I can't wait. But before we get to the memes, we have to unpack the money. Because looking at the top line numbers, I think a lot of people get confused. Roblox has this weird quirk where they report two different numbers for how much money they made.
And they're wildly different.
So different.
Right, so this is kind of Roblox Accounting 101. If you don't get the difference between revenue and bookings, you just can't understand this business.
Okay, so walk us through it. Why is there this huge, like, $800 million gap between the two?
Okay, so imagine a user, let's say a teenager, buys a $20 gift card for Robux.
Okay.
They redeem it today. Roblox gets that $20 cash, like right now. That's a booking.
Okay. So bookings is just the cash register ringing. Simple.
Exactly. And in Q4, that cash register rang to the tune of $2.2 billion.
$2.2 billion.
Up 63% year over year. That is the actual money flowing into the company bank account.
But they don't count all of that as revenue.
They can't. Because of accounting rules, since that teenager is going to spend those Robux on virtual items that last a long time, like a virtual shirt or a house Roblox, has to recognize that revenue slowly.
Over the life of the user.
Right. And they actually specified in the report that the lifetime of a paying user is now about 27 months.
Oh, wow. So if I give them $100 today, they essentially have to sprinkle that $100 over the next 2+ years for their official revenue number.
Roughly speaking, yeah. And that's why the official revenue number was only $1.4 billion. It lags behind the reality.
So for the immediate health in the business.
You look at bookings, and $2.2 billion in 90 days is a monster quarter.
But here's what really struck me. Usually when we talk about these high-growth tech companies, especially ones building the metaverse or whatever we're calling it,
We're just incinerating cash.
they spend $2 to make one. Roblox seems to have flipped a switch.
They are printing money. This was the other part of the beat. Operating cash flow hit $607 million. Free cash flow, so that's the cash left over after paying for all their servers and data centers, was $307 million,
And that's up huge, right?
up 155% from the year before.
Wow.
This is the signal Wall Street was waiting for. It proves the business model actually scales. They're not just getting bigger, they're getting way more profitable as they grow.
They even beat earnings per share expectations by 5 cents.
Which sounds small, a nickel, but when you're dealing with this kind of volume, that's massive. It shows discipline.
Okay, so the bank account is full. But let's talk about the product. Because 144 million people aren't logging in to look at balance sheet. They're logging in to play.
Of course.
And reading the transcript, it seems like the nature of what they're playing is changing. It feels faster, more chaotic.
Chaotic is a good word. Management spent a lot of time on this viral hit dynamic. In the old days of Roblox, you had these steady games like Adopt Me that just stayed at the top of the charts for years.
Right. They were reliable.
Very.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing these flashbang hits that just come out of nowhere.
Which brings us back to steal a brain rot.
The star of Q4, no question. It launched in September 2025. By the time the quarter ended, it hit a record 25.4 million concurrent users.
Wait. I want to pause on concurrent.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't just mean daily users. That means at the exact same second.
The exact same second. Imagine the entire population of Australia logging into the same app at the same moment to do this same thing.
That's just an insane scale.
It is.
And was this built by some massive studio? I mean, was this like an EA or Activision thing?
No, not at all. It was built in just 4 months by a group of young developers.
That's wild. It completely upends the traditional gaming model where games take 5 years and $200 million to build.
Precisely. It's the YouTube model applied to gaming. Low barrier to entry, massive viral potential. But here's maybe the most important data point about the content, and it's one that might get buried.
Go.
It's the long tail.
What do you mean by that in this context?
I mean, the games that aren't in the top 10, they reported that engagement for experiences outside the top 10 grew 68%.
Why does that matter so much? Isn't it better to just have the big hits?
You want hits, sure. But if your whole economy relies on one game, the platform is incredibly fragile.
Right, if that game dies, the platform dies.
Exactly. Seeing those niche communities grow, the horror games, the anime RPGs, the fashion shows, that proves it's a healthy ecosystem.
It's a true platform, not just a launcher for one lucky hit.
You got it. And that variety seems to be driving the demographic shift.
I feel like we've been hearing Roblox is aging up for 5 years now.
We have.
But the data in this report, it actually seems to prove it this time.
This is probably the most critical part of their bull case for the next 5 years. The 18-plus user cohort is growing at over 50% year over year.
So half the growth is coming from adults.
Yes. And let's be honest about the economics here. Who has more money? A 9-year-old with a weekly allowance or a 24-year-old with a job?
A 24-year-old. And they have their own credit card. They don't have to ask for permission.
Exactly. And the data shows that the 18-plus demographic monetizes 40% higher. But getting adults on the platform is tricky. You have the creepy factor. A 24-year-old doesn't want to be in a server full of 7-year-olds.
Right. It's a bad user experience for everyone involved.
So Roblox did something pretty risky in late 2025. They rolled out mandatory age checks for chat features.
You mean if you want to use voice chat, you have to prove who you are?
Government ID, selfie scan, the works.
Oof. That sounds like a conversion killer. Usually when you add a step like scan your ID, you lose 20% of your users right there.
It creates friction, absolutely. And management admitted it. They called it a mid-single-digit headwind to engagement hours.
So people played less because they were stuck trying to find their wallets?
Basically, yeah. But they stuck with it. And the result is that 45% of their global DAUs are now verified.
That's a huge number.
It is. But here's the funny part. When they got the verified data back, they found a surprise.
Let me guess. People were lying about their age.
Big time. The verified data showed the user base is technically younger than the self-reported data.
So a lot of 10-year-olds were just clicking I am 18 to get voice chat.
Classic internet behavior. The ID check caught them.
Wait, so if the user base is actually younger than they thought, isn't that bad news for the whole aging up story?
You would think so. But management spun this as a huge opportunity. They looked at the verified adults, the real 18 to 34-year-olds, and realized their market penetration in the U.S. is still less than 10%.
Ah, I see. So the market for adults isn't saturated yet.
Far from it. They have this massive runway to bring actual adults in. But, and this is the big but, to keep a 24-year-old playing, you can't just offer them blocky obstacle courses.
Right. You need better tech. You need, like, Call of Duty fidelity.
Exactly. If I'm playing a shooter or a racing game, I want it to look good and I want it to be fair. I don't want to lose because of lag.
And that leads us to their novel game expansion strategy and the tech stack.
This is the part of the report where I felt like I was reading about a cloud computing company, not a game company.
They keep using this phrase, vertical integration. What does that actually mean in this context?
So most game companies, they stitch things together. They might use Amazon AWS for servers, third-party tools for voice chat.
Right, different pieces from different places.
Roblox builds everything in-house.
Mhm.
The cloud, the game engine, the client on your phone, the safety stack, all of it.
Why go through all that trouble? It sounds incredibly expensive.
It is expensive upfront, but it lets them do things other companies literally can't do. For example, they rolled out a tech called SLIM.
SLIM, S-L-I-M.
Yep, Scalable Lightweight Interactive Models. It's a way of compressing data so that really complex, beautiful 3D assets can run on low-end devices.
So their goal is that the exact same experience runs on a cheap Android phone and a high-end gaming PC.
That is the holy grail. On Roblox, it's one world. The resolution just scales automatically. Usually the mobile version of a game is a separate, watered-down app.
And for those older users, the competitive players.
They rolled out native server authority.
Can you translate that for the non-engineers listening?
Sure. In competitive gaming, you have the problem of who shot first.
Right, if my internet is slow and yours is fast, we see different things.
Exactly. Server authority just means the Roblox server is the one source of truth. It prevents cheating. It ensures fairness. You can't have a serious competitive scene without it.
And they're building their own data centers to power all this.
They are stuffing them with GPUs. They just added a third core data center location. And this is why that vertical integration pays off. Management claims their own infrastructure handles AI workloads 10 times more efficiently than a public cloud like AWS.
10 times.
That connects right back to the cash flow we talked about. If you own the servers, and your servers are 10 times more efficient.
Your profit margins on every dollar are way higher than a competitor who's just paying rent to Amazon.
It's the build versus rent argument, and Roblox decided to build the entire city.
Speaking of those GPUs, we have to talk about the AI.
We do.
2025 was the year every company slapped an AI label on everything.
Yeah.
But Roblox claims they're running over 400 internal AI models.
400.
Is that just marketing fluff? It seems excessive.
It sounds like it until you look at what they're using them for. Everything from live translation of chat so a kid in Korea can talk to a kid in Brazil, to moderation, to code generation. But the real sci-fi stuff is what they call generative creation.
Okay.
Specifically 4D generation.
All right, I know 3D. Length, width, depth. What's the fourth D? Is it time?
Functionality. Interactivity.
What do you mean?
Usually with generative AI today, if you prompt, make me a race car, you get a 3D model of a car. It looks great, but it's a statue. It doesn't do anything.
It's just geometry.
With 4D generation, you prompt a car, and the AI rigs the wheels, it applies physics to the engine, it assigns inputs, so the W key makes it go forward. It creates a working object.
So you don't need to know how to code an engine. You just ask for a car that drives.
That is the vision. And they're pushing it towards a research initiative they call real-time dreaming.
It sounds almost poetic.
It is a moonshot. The idea is creating fully interactive worlds from a simple prompt. You say, I want a cyberpunk city with flying taxis and zero gravity, and boom, you're standing in it.
And the taxis actually fly.
And the taxis actually fly.
But here's my skeptic's question. OpenAI, Google, Meta, they're all building world simulators. Why would Roblox win this race?
Data. This is their defensive mode. Think about how ChatGPT is trained. It reads the internet, text, images, maybe video.
But it doesn't understand physics.
It doesn't understand interaction. It doesn't know what it feels like to jump or to collide with the wall. It's never played a game.
Right.
David Baszucki dropped a stat that just blew my mind. Roblox captures 30,000 years of human interaction data per day.
30,000 years per day.
That's how you move your mouse, how your avatar jumps, how objects collide, how people speak in certain contexts. It's a 3D behavioral data set that basically no one else has.
And they're using this to build NPCs.
NPCs that act like humans because they've learned from billions of hours of actual human behavior.
That is simultaneously fascinating and terrifying.
It is. But from a business perspective, it's a competitive advantage that's practically impossible to replicate. You have to have 144 million people creating it for you.
We touched on the age verification earlier, but I want to circle back to safety. Because if your goal is to bring in 1 billion people, you have to make sure the place isn't a toxic mess.
And they know that. Management calls safety their gold standard. And it's interesting. Usually, companies see safety as just a cost center. Ugh, we have to pay moderators.
But Roblox frames it as a strategic upside. How?
By using that age data to cluster users. So if you're 19, you're matched with other adults. If you're 10, you're with other kids.
It creates distinct neighborhoods within the city.
Exactly. This civility clustering supposedly improves the experience for everyone.
And they're using AI for this too.
Tools like Roblox Sentinel and Roblox Guard. They're real-time AI moderation tools running on those 400 models. They even open source their voice safety models.
Which is a confident move. It's like saying, here's our code, check our work.
It is.
So looking ahead, they smashed Q4, the stock is up. What are they saying about 2026?
The guidance is strong. They're forecasting 22% to 26% bookings growth for the full year 2026.
That's solid growth on top of a huge year.
It is. However, they did warn that margins might be flat or slightly down.
Why? If their data centers are so efficient, why aren't margins going up?
Reinvestment. They're pouring money into that AI infrastructure, and this is good for the creators listening. They raised the payouts.
The developer exchange rates.
Yep, the DevEx rates increased 8.5%. They're paying more money to the people building the games.
Which they have to do. If they want high-quality shooters and RPGs, they have to pay the talent to build them.
You get what you pay for. But the most interesting nugget about the future was a change in how they guide. They announced that starting in 2027, they will stop giving annual guidance entirely.
Really? Wall Street usually hates that. They want to know exactly what to put in their spreadsheets for the next 12 months.
They do. But Roblox's argument is, look at Steal, a brain rot. We couldn't predict that. Viral hits create what they call discontinuous growth. It's lumpy, lightning strikes, you get 25 million new users.
So they basically told investors to stop asking them to predict which meme game will go viral next November.
And to focus on the long-term view instead, connecting 1 billion people. It's a very confident move.
You have to be confident to tell Wall Street, trust the process, not the quarterly forecast.
It does. But when you just delivered 63% bookings growth and 155% free cash flow growth, I think you earn the right to call your shots a little bit.
So, to recap, we have a company that is rapidly aging out.
Half their growth from adults.
They're building a vertical tech stack that rivals the biggest cloud providers.
With an AI data advantage that's almost impossible to replicate.
And they're generating billions in cash flow.
And doing it all while pivoting from a game to a human co-experience platform seems to be working.
It's impressive. But here's the thought that keeps nagging at me as we close out. We talked about real-time dreaming. This ability to prompt a fully functional game into existence in seconds with AI.
Right.
Last year, developers on Roblox earned about $1.5 billion building games. If in a few years, any user can just speak into their phone and say, create a capture the flag game on Mars with zero gravity and the AI just builds it.
Yeah.
What happens to those developers?
That is the billion-dollar question.
Does the whole creator economy survive the perfection of AI creation? Or does everyone become a creator and the value of building just drops to zero?
It's the paradox of the Star Trek holodeck, right? If the computer makes the fun, you don't need a game designer. But maybe the role just shifts. Maybe they aren't placing bricks anymore. Maybe they become the prompter-in-chief, curating what the AI builds.
Or maybe the human touch becomes the premium product.
Yeah.
It's certainly something to mull over as you watch your RBLX stock ticker. That's it for this deep dive into the Roblox reality check. Thanks for listening.
See you next time.